My name is Timmy and Melissa, and in this video I want to talk about space holding. Because when we are in this awakening process, we need to become aware of all our doings and beings. And space holding is something that I often see people not be that aware of. Often people are not aware that they are space holders, because we think space holders are just the ones with big groups. But actually, just being a mom or a dad, you're being a space holder in the family, or you can be a space holder at your work, in your community, or in your study group. Whatever you are holding the space for, wherever you are inviting people into your space. It could be a birthday party. And yeah, you are a space holder. And therefore, I would invite you in this video to reflect upon some areas around space holding that you might not have given a lot of thought. And maybe this can inspire you to hold a better and stronger space for what you want to invite into your life. I also want to talk to the space holders of workshops or group processes or ceremonies of different kinds, to become aware of all the aspects of space holding, to be very clear on what you're inviting into your space and what you are able to hold space for. Because sometimes I see people inviting others into a held space and setting an intention that they're not able to hold the space for. And then it becomes really unsafe for the people entering the space. Because I believe that you are only able to hold space for things that you have been going through yourself, or things that you have grown to the capacity to hold and to contain. So if you have an insecurity or some anxiety around people expressing anger, don't invite people into a space of exploring their emotions, the full range of their emotions, because you might be really good at holding people in their sorrow or their insecurities, but if you can't hold their anger as well, you will at some point become shaky in the space holding, and the people who might access their anger for the first time in your space will have a really bad experience with that. So just be clear about what you're capable of holding space for. There's so much you can hold space for. So stick to that. And as you're growing as a person, you can start holding space for more and more. But just be very clear about yourself and your own capabilities before you open that space for others. Also be very aware of what you will accept in your space. Because if you intend to hold a very safe space, because you are inviting a lot of vulnerability in the participants in your space, there might be certain ways of acting and being that you will not allow in your space from the other participants, because it will make the space unsafe for the rest of the participants. And the more clear you are, the stronger and safer space you can hold. And as a help in doing that, you can get a practice of opening the field, opening the space for that which you call in. And if you're doing spiritual work, you might want to call in some spiritual guides or helpers from your inner realms, Or you might just want to be very clear in what you're calling in, some qualities, maybe the elements if you're into the more shamanic way of working. But call in those qualities that you want. And also, if you take over a space that is not your own, someone else have had another meeting or another workshop in this space, and they have left an imprint of what they were doing in that space. And very few, unfortunately, are aware of cleaning after themselves in a more energetic way. So they often just leave the space with whatever was released in their workshop, and that is what you're entering. So I would always start by clearing the room and clearing the space, asking for permission from the space to do the work that I'm intending to do. And if there is a misalignment between the space, the building, the place where we are, the energies, I will work with that before starting my workshop. So I will always arrive early to be sure to have enough time for that alignment of the place and the energies with my intentions. And sometimes you might have to change your intentions a little bit so they will align with the place and what's possible there. So let your surroundings and the energies around you inform you also of what is welcome here and what you are able to do in this space. And sometimes you will be surprised as how a place is inviting something specific that you didn't expect when you arrived, but it actually turns out to be a huge gift for the whole group that this element was invited in. And then as a space holder, also be aware of what do you want from the group. Do you want the group to be and do something for you? Do you have some intentions on your own behalf that you want the group to fulfill in some way? That could be the thing if you are a family or a leader and your employees is there, they have agreed to actually work for you and the goal that you have set. So it's perfectly okay. Other times it might be a little bit more dodgy, that you think you're coming to a workshop to receive help with something and you realize that you are actually being called there by the space holder to feed their ego or make them feel in a certain way. So as a space holder, be very clear about yourself, your capabilities and your intentions, your needs from the group, and how you want to serve the group. What do you want to invite and give to this space? And then again, when you're done with your workshop or your day, you might have had a really rough day in your family. There was a lot of emotions and conflicts, and by the end of the day, everything landed well. The kids have been put to bed and everyone is at peace, but you still have this, it was a rough day, and you might want to just clear the space for everything from the day, so that tomorrow will be a new day with a clear energy. So there are many ways of doing that, and I won't get into that in this video, but find your own ways of clearing and cleansing the spaces you want to work in or be in, and also to cleanse and clear them after you are done with the day or the workshop, the project. And I also want to invite you to reflect upon your style of space holding. I'm going to put the podcast with Rachel Richards that I did last week about space holding, about being able to read the field of a group, and about connecting with the group soul, about the feminine and the masculine way of holding space, and how it can be a really good thing to be able to fluctuate between the two and not get stuck in one way or the other, but finding that balanced way and being able to flow between them and feel when there is a calling for one thing and when there's a calling for another. So I highly recommend you to listen to the full podcast with Rachel to really get a transmission of her amazing ability to read a field and talk into these topics. She is the #1 space holder that I've ever met, of holding a space so clearly with so much awareness and capability to hold a lot, and that permission that gives. It's just amazing. I would love for everyone to experience that and be inspired by that if they are holding space for others. And the more people you hold space for, the more important it is to just be very clear about your own space holding, I would say. I hope this can inspire you and open some new possibilities for your own journey into space holding.